Hey everybody, this is David Millar with the Millar Group, and this is the real estate market update. This is a national view of real estate for the whole United States. This way it gives us a macro view of what's going on, because believe it or not, the world is not just California or just the Russian River. So we want to be able to stay educated so you can make better decisions, whether you're thinking about buying or selling based on the statistics of what's going on in the marketplace. So if you like this information, let us know, share it with friends, like it on social media so everybody can get to see it. Let's just jump right in here. Single family housing units completed by the decade. Now this gives you an example of what building has happened. Every time I do a video, the fire engines start. So excuse that background noise. But really we're looking at about 6.5 million housing units completed in the past decade, and look past previous years. And what this really is this is a hangover from the recession. Building starts just have not kept up with demand. Google reported last week when this search question was put in, when is the housing market going to crash? That search spiked 2,450% in just the past month. So that means that people out there, they're nervous because they're seeing such a run up in real estate. And some people are thinking, well, should I wait to get in? Maybe the market's going to come down. I get asked that question multiple times a day. The proof is in the statistics. So let's take a look at those statistics and dive in. Now, this here is kind of interesting because this is a year-over-year change in listings. And what I want you to be aware of is this dip here is a bit deceiving. I'm sorry, the jump is a bit deceiving because what we're seeing is a jump over last year when we were in the heart of the pandemic. Now we've come up out of that. So we're seeing that the percentages have increased, but that's just over the listings from last year. If you look at the total number, we're actually below 53% of the listings that we're used to having on the market. So again, a very slow, low supply. Inventory levels, inventory levels of single family homes, we're comparing 2020 to 2021. Look at this difference. We're about 400,000 shorter than we were last year. And that's on a national level. The National Association of Realtors states that demand remains strong as home buyers are snatching listings quickly off the MLS. It takes approximately 18 days for a home to go from listing to contract in the current housing market. A year ago, it took 29 days. In the good old days, your average day on market was probably 90 days. So it's even gotten tighter in the past year. When will housing inventory grow again? They did a survey amongst economists, and what they came up with was everybody thinks the second half of this year, well, not everybody, but 43% think that the second half of this year, we're going to have more properties coming on the market, which is probably a good bet. I mean, we're coming out of the crisis that we've had, and things are turning around. People are becoming more positive. People are starting to make changes and move on. So we should have more inventory. That's the good news. And they also did a survey of what are the 5 top reasons homeowners would plan to sell this year. 1 is the home no longer meets their needs. 2, that they can make a profit off the existing market. 3, they want a smaller house. And 4 is something that really has been a product of this past year. And it's because we want to live closer to family and friends. Home has changed for people. Coming out of the recession, a lot of people said, oh, people are just going to rent. They're not going to buy homes anymore. And really, we've had a shift in thinking about what home is. Home is where you work. Home is where you spend time with your family. So people are really thinking about wanting to have that home. And of course, they want different features and amenities too. So those are your top 5 reasons why people think about wanting to sell. Prospective homeowners planning on buying in the next 12 months is up from the first quarter of 2020, it was about 10%. Now it's at 16%. Home and the concept of home have changed. And that is leading to this high demand that we have. Average profit for home sellers has increased by 26%. That's nationwide. That number is much higher than $70,000. In California, for obvious reasons, our price point starts a lot higher, but we're seeing a nationwide increase in home sales prices. Now, Lawrence Yun, chief economist at NAR, says that this is not a bubble. It's simply a lack of supply. I agree with him partially. The one thing that I've learned in real estate is to never say never and to never speak in absolutes, if that's not a contradiction. But I've seen things change on a heartbeat. Now, right now, we do have a lack of supply. People are going to start getting more comfortable and want to make changes or want to take advantage of these high rises in prices and put their houses on the market. We're already seeing that locally. We're seeing an increase in our demand. We were down to like the bare bones of like 20, 25 homes on the market. Excuse me, my nose itched there. But now we're at about 60 homes on the market. So we have seen an uptick, but our comfortable rate is about 100 to 120 homes in the market. So we've still got a long way to go. Forbearance update. Forbearance is a program that was put together by the government to help people that lost their jobs by no fault of their own be able to stay in their homes. The number of people in forbearance has dropped dramatically. It's kind of hit as you see here, it kind of leveled off recently to about, we're looking at about 2.31 million homes that are in forbearance across the country. These are some of the statistics. About 47% of people have gotten out of forbearance, gotten their loans paid up, and everything's good. 36.5 have worked out a payment plan, and there's about 16% that are still in some kind of trouble around the forbearance. Now, people look and point to that number and say, see, there's our bubble. But the issue is if you took all those homes that were in forbearance right now and put them on the market all at once, it still wouldn't equal the deficit that we have in homes that we need to have on the market for us to have a stable market. So upon leaving forbearance, percentage of people. So we had, and on January 3rd, we had 52%. Now we're down to 47%. People that have worked out a plan up, and the people that are still in trouble ticked up 1%. So we're seeing, the good news is people are paid in full. People are working out their plans. The bad news is we saw that 1% uptick in people that are in trouble. So we need to keep an eye on this, and I'll keep coming back to it in our updates. Rick Sharga at Realty Track said, I think the math speaks for itself, how well the forbearance program worked. And it's one of the few times in my career I've seen a government-initiated program adapted as well and executed as well by the industry. It really helped a lot of people stay in their homes and kept us from getting into a crisis with everybody that lost their job. So hats off to the government, hats off to the banks for making this all happen. And now hopefully we're getting back to some normalcy. The Wall Street Journal said consumers were more upbeat about their income prospects in the last month, and many appear eager to spend. The survey found that 8.9% of Americans plan to buy a home in the next 6 months. That's the biggest share in records going back to the 1970s. 8.9% of Americans plan to buy a home in the next 6 months, which is good news for real estate. We saw interest rates go down. Looking over here, they hit their low below 2.7. Then they jumped up, and now we've seen a little bit of a drop again, but down below 3. So interest rates, they're gonna go up. They have to go up. There's really no other place for them to go. But still, for the next couple of years, it probably means good things for real estate. Mortgage rate projections. These are the projections into 2022. We're still looking at about a 3.67% projection for interest rates into 2022. Mortgage rates, as you see, again, there's the actual, here's the projected. So we're still going to be somewhere around 2016 rates for mortgage rates, which is great. Home price forecasts for 2021, the average is about 6.8% appreciation for homes in 2021. And it varies from anywhere from 10.3 to 3, but you can see that line there, the midline, you're probably a good bet it's around 6%. That's barring any kind of a global economic disaster or war, that kind of thing that can kind of put a stop to everything. Home sales forecasted to increase nicely in 2011 as well into 2022. So we're going to sell more homes in 2022 than we did in 2021. The market is still doing incredibly well. It's because of lack of supply, plain and simple. Hopefully they're going to start building some more homes. That's been a big problem, is the building industry has just not built enough homes to keep up with population growth. It's very simple. So barring any big, huge, drastic changes, this is what we're looking at right now. I will keep you updated on a monthly basis so you know what's going on the national real estate market level. If you've got any questions locally about the Russian River or Sonoma County, we'd love to help you out. Our number is 707-217-1786. And remember, the more good you do, the more opportunities you create. Have a great day.